Minute past, so let's go ahead and get started. Jess, do you want to, I guess, formally introduce me, I guess, as the Sergeant at Arms?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody, and so glad to see you all. And today we're starting our meeting with our president, Pauline. She's going to start giving us some announcement and have a, please come up, Pauline, and start.
Okay. Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Last meeting of 2020. Wow, this went by fast, didn't it? I wanted to just go ahead and call the meeting to order. And if there's anybody that would like or feel the need or want to do an invocation, I certainly don't want to keep picking on Tom every Friday to do that. So if you have a feeling that you want to do that, I'd like to throw it out to whoever would be interested. Okay. Otherwise, Tom, would you
do it then? All right, let's pray then. We'll do a real invocation. Our God, we thank you today that we can gather with friends to sharpen our skills, to learn from each other, to be encouraged by each other, and to just walk through this period of life together. We know that around our cities and around our world that people are suffering, that people are insecure, that people are wondering what tomorrow will hold. And so we pray that you would wrap your arms of love around them and that you would increase our hearts, expand our hearts to receive them into a place of care within us. As we speak, as we listen, as we participate today, may your blessings be upon each person gathered in this room. As across the miles, we're together in one place. We pray these things joyfully. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. That was wonderful.
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you. I just always feel like it's just a nice, I think it settles us, to me, that just really settles us and gets us ready to start the hour. So I appreciate that. I'd love to introduce the guests. We've got Brian Logan that's back with us today, and he is actually on a call. So he's going to jump over as soon as he's off with that call. And then we have, looks like somebody named Abby is coming in right now, I believe, as well as Tony Castillo. Tony, I don't know if you can hear us. Or is there anything in the chat feature? Let's see.
I'll open chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there's nothing in chat. I'd like to take.
This is Tony can hear us now?
He's not muted on our end. He might be muted on his end.
Okay.
Abby is no longer with us. Or Abby.
Okay. Well, this is the part where I'd like to do introductions, but I don't know that we don't have Brian totally with us right now, and I don't know whether we have Tony. Shall we wait a little bit and do that as soon as Brian comes back?
We'll do it at the end if you want to.
I thought maybe I heard Tony, but
I would go ahead and go through the meeting. You've started it. I'm not sure why Tony can't hear us. Tony, if you can hear us, or Brian, you can hear us, you can, if you're having some audio issues, you can go to the mute button and hit the little star up where it says audio settings, and you can change your audio settings, increase your volume, that sort of thing. I have that happens to me sometimes. But go to the mute button and to the little arrow that's pointing up, click onto that, and you can do audio settings. Maybe we can hear you.
Yeah, you're doing it back and forth. So I know you can hear us because you're trying.
Okay,
on.
He's trying.
Yeah, just feel free to listen.
Yeah.
Brian is in a conference call with his work, Patrick.
Yeah, so we'll wait until Brian gets back with us, and then we'll do introductions at that time. Does anyone have a joke for today? If not, we'll move right into.
Well, let's don't go without a joke. I got a joke. I'll give you a joke. You
I
want?
got kind of a joke.
Okay.
I'll defer to Patrick. Mine will wait.
Well, I saw this as a meme recently, and the three worst numbers in our system: the number 13 for bad luck, the number 666 biblical demon, and now the newest 2020.
I knew it. Yeah, that's great. Forever
Forever.
a bad number.
Bad memory for all of, yeah.
Can all agree to that.
Now I got this one on my mind, Pauline. I can't get it
Okay.
on my mind.
Yes, please.
So there's an old guy in a nursing home, and the very pretty young, everybody's young to him, he's so old, nurse comes and says, Mr. Brown, can I get you anything? And he said, what I'd really like is a matter baby. And she said, what's a matter, baby? And he has a little twinkle in his eye. He says, no, not much. I'm fine, but thanks for asking.
That's cute. Oh my goodness. I think I've heard that one. That's a good one.
It's not new.
That's cute.
So he wanted to be called baby, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Apparently.
Let's see.
Okay, I'll go ahead and introduce our Toastmaster for today. And I'm going to introduce Jess. If you'd like to take it over.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pauline. And back to our session. So our first session today is gonna be having a prepared speeches. And I don't know if we have any speaker for today. Do we have any speaker, Pauline?
No speaker today. It's according to the agenda today, we're going to have a sing-along. Tom's going to lead us in that. Mhm.
Okay, great. So that's going to be awesome. So it's going to be by Tom. And then we need I don't know, are we needing an evaluator for that? Or since it's not a speech, then maybe we can all comment in, right? Okay. So, and then, but we do need a general evaluator for the meeting, right? So that's who wants to do that.
I'm already listed on the agenda as a general evaluator today.
Okay.
Do you have a theme for today? Because if not, I came up with a theme. If you have something as Toastmaster, I think the role is to come up with a theme for the day. That can be anything. Do you have anything off the top of your head? Because I brought something just in case.
Would you please save me this time?
Sure. So I thought we could go with the theme today of caroling because we're going to spend a little bit of time singing today. Right, Tom? Yes.
Yeah.
So carols were first sung in Europe thousands of years ago, but they were not Christmas carols. They were pagan songs sung at winter solstice celebrations where people danced around stones. This is a long time ago. Singing remained separate from Christmas until St. Francis of Assisi began incorporating similar sayings and songs of well wishes in his Christmas services. He encouraged the members of his church to embrace music during the holiday season. St. Francis's method was such a hit that soon enough people began taking the songs home and enjoying those songs with their families. These songs stuck to their oral traditions for several years, being passed down from family to family until someone finally collected and wrote them down and published them back in 1582. So soon they migrated to the church and became a staple activity during holiday celebrations. And today we're actually Tom will lead us in some song today during our speech session. So right now I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and pass it to the general evaluator, but that's me today. So I'm taking over for Ashley's role because she has a Christmas party to go to today. So As general evaluator of today's meeting, my role is to evaluate, just the whole meeting in itself, and I'll do that at the end. But right now I'd like to introduce the team, and my team today is going to be Patrick as grammarian for today. So Patrick.
Mute. You're muted.
We can't hear you, Patrick.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
If you can release my screen, I need to share my screen.
I've got screen sharing on for everybody.
Okay, good. Not what I want. Let's see here if we can get what I want. Can we see that?
Yes.
Gravitas. Gravitas is our word for the day. It's a noun. Seriousness or sobriety as conducted or speech. Her tone on the economic speech was gravitas. If you use gravitas in any of your communications during the meeting, you will get $10,000 from me. Maybe Monopoly money, but you will get it. Gravitas. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick. Gravitas. Let's all try to use that word today. It's a wonderful word. And I'm timer for today, and my role as timer is to time the table topics for this afternoon. And I will hold up fingers, and 1 minute will be 1.5 will be 2 fingers, and then 2 minutes will be 3 fingers. And then when you get to the 3 fingers, it's time to wrap it up, because table topics, you try to finish those off at 2 minutes and 15 seconds to qualify. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Jaspreet as Toastmaster for today to introduce our next segment.
Okay, so first we are having our speech, and then after that we will have our table topics. And I believe it was Jason was supposed to be the table topic master for today, right? Maybe maybe we have to find somebody. And then we will have our meeting. We have the timer. So I wanna first ask Tom to have that song that he has prepared for us today.
So this is my speech, and this is our sing-along. My favorite raconteur is Garrison Keillor, great storyteller. And for years, many years, decades, he ran a program out of St. Paul, Minnesota called A Prairie Home Companion. And he once was asked what the great popularity of it was. And he said one of the things was, where else can you go except church to sing together? And so he had live shows every Saturday night for a couple hours, and people gathered and they heard stories, and they saw live radio, and they sang together. Now, what's missing in our years of COVID? We have a very difficult time these days singing together. For one thing, we have a 6-second delay. So if you don't mute yourself when you're singing along with me right now, we will have cacophony. And that could be a matter of great gravitas. Because cacophony doesn't sound as good as harmony. And it's just the problem. So the choice was, and also accompaniment is a problem. I've been experimenting with this on Sundays in my services. My wife says it clings, it clangs, it comes in and out, and you just have to do it a cappella. So all I know to do is have you mute yourself to sing along with me. You will hear me 6 seconds later, but I want you to sing. And you're just going to have to put up with me. Now, singing together is a universal experience. When I was pastoring in Fremont in the 80s, one of our groups of people every month would go to the local mental hospital and do a birthday party. It was a very large mental hospital. And they had long-term patients there. And for Christmas, they would invite me. And my job was to lead the Christmas carols. and to read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, which I did not bring you today. But whenever I would ask what their favorite was and what they wanted to sing first, it was, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. I want to see your lips moving. He's making a list and he's checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm a-telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Now, I don't know why people in an institution where many of them had a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia would get any comfort from he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. So the ones who were in severe paranoid episodes would ask for Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Now, a couple more of those solstice type songs. Chestnuts, but sometimes you just start too high when you're in a cappella. And that is also a matter of grave gravitas with a grave over it. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows the turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's bringing lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92, although it's been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents under the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. We had somebody try to get on just a second ago, but then Christmas, I was really happy to hear that story about Francis of Assisi, one of my heroes, and I didn't know that he'd introduced Christmas carols to our experience, but that's really good to know. And oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. You ready for this? This is a big one now. Crescendo. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. All night, all night, all night, all night divine. Some of you know I just got new teeth, and I was worried about last Sunday, or the Sunday, I don't know when it was, I had my new teeth first. But my wife said, maybe you should just try not singing. That might be the biggest problem. But just now, I almost choked on my teeth. So I don't, it's a challenge. But whatever challenges you have at Christmas, just throw them aside and make an idiot of yourself. Make a fool of yourself and enjoy the holidays and sing along. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plain, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strain. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. I know you've heard this, and every year I have to check it out to make sure it's really true. There are two songs I like to listen to on YouTube. Well, there are a lot of songs I like to listen on YouTube. One of them is Snoopy and the Red Barons Christmas. And I encourage you to look that up on YouTube. It's They act out in Snoopy form something that actually happened in World War I. In World War I, in 1914, somehow or another, they were able to communicate with each other across the lines and call a truce. And there was a truce between the Germans and the British. They got together for Christmas. They sang carols. They played soccer. They exchanged gifts. They greeted each other. And for 24 hours, there was peace. And so one of the great themes of Christmas throughout the years, in honor of the Prince of Peace, is peace on earth, goodwill to men. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. And one of my other YouTube favorites, if you can get a hold of it, is Simon and Garfunkel singing Silent Night interposed against the backdrop of the 6 o'clock news. And that came out in the 60s when we were fighting the war in Vietnam. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Ebenezer Scrooge was visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, the ghosts of Christmas present, and the ghosts of Christmas future. And in visiting the home of Bob Cratchit in his dream, in his ghostly travels, he met vicariously Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim. Perhaps you know the story of Tiny Tim. But I think more than anything else, it was the spirit and the goodwill of this little crippled boy, the son of Bob Cratchit, his employee, that turned the heart of Ebenezer Scrooge. And Dickens was trying to say that we all needed to turn our hearts, that we needed to have a different kind of attitude toward people in life. And Scrooge's declaration at the end is, I will honor Christmas in my heart and will try to keep it all the year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now, I should end there, but I want to invite Jimmy Stewart to come among us and close us out today. And so, Jimmy Stewart, have at it.
To my big brother George, the richest man in town. That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings,
Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
My goodness, Tom, it was amazing. I loved it. It's like you made my day today. When I woke up, I was all sad and everything's like, we cannot go anywhere. But this song that you did, it's great. Especially, with the story also, how each song is connected. I really like that idea, like putting your stories and then singing. That was great. And I don't know, I don't have words to say thank you so much for bringing that. That was great. So maybe I think you guys can also do some comments for Tom.
I wanted to say that it kind of surprised me that I hear these songs all the time, but no matter how many times I hear them, I've never fully understood every single lyric. And now I feel like I know the lyrics better, so I'll be more confident when I sing these songs. So thank you for that, Tom.
And Tom, I didn't realize you were so talented. Boy, I'm glad that wasn't my voice coming across there. You've got a voice and obviously you use it well. Thank you very, very much. However, one, not criticism, but point out, when you did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you didn't do the opening, did you? Let's do that right now. There's Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Dixon, Comet and Cubit, and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? The only reason I bring that up is that's how I remember the reindeers, is because of that song. So thank you, Tom. You're fantastic.
That was great. Great job, Tom. It was so beautiful. And so I agree with Jason that when you see the words on the screen, you can really put some meaning behind that too. It's something I just sing and I don't even really connect the dots, but it was really beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to put that together and to share that with us and for having a lovely voice. So thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. I hope you recorded that, because if you did, I would love to have it, so I can show it to my kids. Were you recording, Tom? Is it recorded? Oh, good, good. Okay, great. Okay, so that was our first session and it went great.
Oh, Madam Toastmaster, I'll put it on the Facebook. Well, you don't get Facebook. I'll put it somewhere. I'll put it in a Google Drive or something.
Okay, great, good. Thank you. So we'll have our next session, the table topics. And for that, I know is it Patrick? Yes. So Patrick
Who
is
was originally scheduled for it? Is
Jason.
Patrick, and I have it ready. But
Oh,
if
you have it? Let Jason do it then.
that's
Okay.
what I can chat.
You know what, Jason, you came through as Tony Castillo, so we thought that you weren't here. We thought it was a Tony Castillo, and we're waiting. Did you guys notice that? And then now it shows Jason. We're like, oh, Jason's here. Okay, but we were ready to have a backup just in case.
Okay. No, what happened was I got a new camera for my office because I was having difficulties with my last one in my office, and I haven't fully set it up to be used on Zoom. So it still had somebody else's name who used to log in on here, everything like that. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Glad you're here. No, it's great.
Me, because he was a student of mine.
Say again?
Oh, Tony?
Tony Castillo, I think, was one of my seminary students.
Oh, is that right?
Wow, small world.
So do you want me to take over right now? With
Yep. Yep.
Let me share my screen. I have it. Share. So for table topics, I wanted to share something. I'm a movie buff, so I wanted to go into pretty much what it's saying is describe scenes or the background story, etc. Of your favorite Christmas movie, and we'll guess what it is collectively. So you just describe a moment from the movie or anything that has to do with it so that we can kind of get an idea. Kind of like last time. I like the idea of the decoration, so I thought that was cool, but I thought I'd integrate it with this since everyone should know a lot of these movies that are most famous for Christmas time. So do you want me to start off? I'll start. I have no problem with that. There's no objections.
No, just select. You should go last. So just go around the room and select everyone.
Okay then. Well, since you spoke up, I'll go with you, Patrick.
Mr. Toastmaster, so we're supposed to pick a scene from our favorite movie, describe it, do not mention the title of the movie, and then see if the group can guess what it is. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So it's a strong wintry night, and it's snowing, and a man is approaching the bridge, and he looks distraught. He is sweating. He's looking down into the water below, which it's splashing and frozen, etc. And the man looks as if he might jump, and then he yells out, "Clarence! Clarence, where are you? I need someone. You must be right. Clarence, Clarence." All of a sudden, a police car approaches, and a policeman runs out and says, "George, is that you, George?" And the man says, "Get away from me. I'll throw this." That's the story of Scrooge.
Yeah. Okay. Just breathe.
Kevin, you are always making mess. No, it's not my fault. No, it is you. You see, we have a lot of other kids in this house, but you're the only one making mistakes. You go back into the basement. You're gonna be alone. Okay. I wish my family could disappear. In morning time, when he wake up, everybody's gone to a trip and he is only left home. And he's excited. I did make my family disappear. What movie is that?
Home Alone? Yeah. Okay. Pauline?
Sure, let me set the scene for you. So there's a very large man that is wearing clothes that are too tight and too small. And he's in the mall. And it's Christmas time, and he's in the mall and he's walking around, and suddenly he sees the display of Santa and having, sit downs with each of the children and taking photos and listening to each of the kids about what they would like for Christmas. And this main character in the movie, this man in tight clothes that are too small for him, he says, Santa, Santa, I know him. And then he proceeds to run around the mall and sort of destroy the whole Christmas presentation that the mall had created for the children that were coming to visit Santa that day, and making quite a ruckus. What movie is that? I can't hear you guys. Elf, yes. That happens to be one of my favorite movies of all time.
What movie is that?
Elf. Elf. Jess, have you seen it?
We will watch tonight.
It's so funny. It's so good.
Okay, great. We'll watch this. Thank you.
Okay, Tom?
Well, I'm gonna take you back down memory lane and find out who watches AMC or late night. David Niven is an overworked, over-focused, completely hyper-focused clergyman who is trying to build a great cathedral. In the process of trying to build this great cathedral, the character that Niven plays forgets about the things that are around him that he could appreciate, like his beautiful wife, who's played by Loretta Young. Heaven is concerned that Niven is going down. And so they send Dudley in the form of Cary Grant to try to teach this clergyman what's important in life. And he actually develops quite a friendship with the wife, Loretta Young. And there's a scene in that movie that I love, and I've actually used it in funerals. And the cab driver is driving them around because they just keep driving, just keep driving. And the cab driver says, you know what's wrong with the world? He said, what's wrong with the world is a lot of people, they don't know where they're going, and they don't know how to get there, and they just keep going. But you folks seem to know where you're going, but you're in no hurry to get there. That was it. They don't know where they're going, but they're in a hurry to get there. He said, you know where you're going, and you're in no hurry to get there. And eventually, the clergyman, David Niven, gets it. He forgets about Dudley. They all forget about Dudley. He disappears. I'm done. Who am I? Who am I? Who is it? You got to watch this one tonight too, Jaspreet.
Okay, which one is that?
Cary Grant. I mean, David Niven, Loretta Young. Where do you get a cast like that? The Bishop's Wife.
Oh, goodness gracious. That was good.
What was the name of the movie, Tom? I'm sorry, Bishop what?
The Bishop's Wife.
Oh, okay. Bishop's Wife. Okay.
You can't talk with the teeth.
All right, then. Now I guess it's my turn, so I'll start off. So there's this family. They're heading out, walking through snow that looks like about 3 feet high. They're all freezing. One of them you can see has boogers that are actually starting to freeze. And it's a family of a boy, a girl, the wife and husband. And they're going out to go cut down a tree in the middle of the forest. And one of them states, "Isn't this illegal?" And the father says, "No, it doesn't matter. We're going to find the most beautiful tree out here." And then the son asks, "So do you have the saw?" And the scene ends. And then here's a second scene. So they're asking the grandma as they sit down to eat, "Would you honor us as being the eldest to say the blessing?" And she can't hear it because she's hard of hearing. So she begins to ask, "What?" And her husband says, "The blessing." And then she starts to say the blessing, but instead, because she's getting old, she begins with the Pledge of Allegiance. And everyone starts to say the Pledge of Allegiance. What movie is this?
It's not the Christmas Story?
No.
No, I don't know.
Nobody? Okay, it's Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite movies because it's like, I even watch it when it's not Christmas almost all year round. I always have it recorded because
Chevy
it's
Chase?
just so hilarious.
Chase?
And,
National
with
Lampoon.
Chevy Chase. Yes.
Oh.
It's funny because I always watch it regardless. When I was
Oh.
young, I really loved it. I always found it funny. But now as an adult, I even more relate to where he's coming from, especially as a father and, a husband. So it's even more funnier now.
That's great. Is that the new
And-
one, Jason, or is that one of the older ones?
No, I
The
believe there's
original?
only one that I
Oh.
know of.
Oh, okay.
It's what Chevy Chase is the main character.
Mhm.
Yes. But if there's nothing else, return it back to Madam Toastmaster.
Wow, Jason, that was great. You did great. So bringing more festive, festive light today. So we'll have our timer give us the report for the table topics.
Okay. Am I unmuted? Yeah. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As general evaluator, I will call on my team to give their reports. Let's start out with the grammarian, Patrick.
Yes, Madam Master Evaluator. Our word of the day was gravitas, and I heard it at the very beginning from Tom. I think Tom is the only one that used it. It was not the ah counter, but I was looking for ahs and ums, etc. And I think there's many of them, but since you were all singing them and I couldn't hear you, I can't.
We're off the hook.
Back to you, Madam.
Thank you so much.
Madam Master Evaluator.
All right, so, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the timers report. So for table topics today, I was 1 minute and 5 seconds. Jess, 29 seconds. Patrick, 1 minute and 45. Tom, 1 minute and 55. Brian, 1 minute and 17. And Robert, 23. And as general evaluator today, I'd like to say that the meeting started just a minute late. We're right in there, just right in the nick of time. And I think we really improvised this meeting. We kind of went along thinking a certain direction, and then we just kept kind of shifting a little bit because we thought that Jason was Tony, and we thought we had a guest today, and we thought we didn't have Jason. So we had to improvise and figure out who is going to do table topics, and Patrick and I worked that out through chat. Thank you, Patrick, for offering to step in. And I thought that Tom's segment was lovely and beautiful, and thank you so much for doing the work to put that together so it could be so fun and meaningful for us today. Yes, and I thought, Jason, that was your first table topics. You knocked it out of the park. Thank you so much. As president, it's really nice to see people step up into roles because we need people to make the meetings work. We need people to all come and take a part, and it's so refreshing to hear from other people, and you did a great job. So thank you so much for that. And that's a wrap for me. So I'm going to send it back to Madam Toastmaster. Jess.
Yes, you guys, Colleen, that today we had a lot of fun, and also we learned a lot, especially from Tom's song. And so I'm passing back to the president, which is Pauline. So you're coming again and letting us know if we are having our next meeting next week or not, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I think we decided that we are going to skip the next 2 Fridays, and that makes sense, right? It's Christmas and it's New Year's, so we'll meet back here that first Friday in January. But since it's going to be a long time before we meet, I thought maybe we could set the rules so that we come into that meeting and we all kind of really know what's going on, because there's going to be a big gap for us here. So just to reiterate, the main roles here that we need to fill is always Toastmaster. It's always a speech, table topics, and general evaluator. So if there's somebody that feels strongly like, oh, I'd love to do that, I want to give a speech, feel free to speak up at this time and we'll get you scheduled in. So is there anybody that feels strongly about doing any one of those roles?
I can do a speech. Yeah. I
Did
can
you say speech?
speech. Yeah.
Okay, and just to let everyone know, there is time to do 2 speeches at each meeting. We could even do 3 speeches if someone else wants to do one too. I think I'm going to go ahead and prepare one and have it ready. Patrick, did you have a comment?
I'll do Toastmaster, Pauline.
Thank you so much. Okay. So that leaves a table topics and general evaluator. If anyone's interested in taking on that. Jason, would you like to do one of those 2?
Yeah, I was saying I could try general evaluator.
Okay, that sounds really great. It's a nice next step. Okay, and table topics. I
guess that's the table topic.
Okay, Robert, thank you so much. That's great. All right, Robert.
I'll be grammarian.
Okay. And just a reminder on table topics, come with a theme for the meeting. And I think grammarian, if I'm correct, comes up with the word of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, still learning my way through this too. So, all right, it is 12:56. Is there any questions, comments?
I'm just still amazed that Jason got on. This is the Tony I know. He did work for your group. So you tell him hi when you see him.
Oh, that's so great.
Because he really was my student one semester.
Wow.
Okay. Awesome.
Small world.
I just thought maybe one of my 2-year-old invitations had finally realized.
And it looks like Brian, it did click off. I don't see him on here at all, but he had a pretty important work meeting today. So hopefully we see him the first Friday in January. So Robert?
We have a meeting. We had a meeting, and basically the area directors trying to find people to fill out our clubs. And one idea they have is to contact people that were in the club in the past. Does that fit with anybody that you can think of that you might contact in the past and might be at this time want to come back and be in the club?
You know, I'm going to check and see if Turbo Base is still operational, because we go all the way back to the 80s with members in Turbo Base, and occasionally we've had people that have shown up who haven't been around in 10 years. So I'm just going to pull them up and see if it's still operational. A lot of the clubs used to use that as their software.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
And if so, do you want me just to send that list to you? I mean, I will take my part of it and I'll send it to everybody if I find it, if I can.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. And when we adjourn or when we meet up again in January, we can kind of talk about just some ideas all of us might have for getting guests to come, guests become members. And so having a new guest every Friday would just be a great start to the new year. And so hopefully Brian comes back, and I think I'll reach out to him directly and just invite him to come for that first Friday in January. So I don't have anything else. It was fun meeting you guys. It was great.
Jason has something.
Pauline, I don't believe I ever received paperwork for the joining the membership.
Okay, check your email. I sent you an application about 2 weeks ago. I can send it again. And then I just highlighted just the parts on the application that you need to fill out. Not much,
Okay.
just like name and address and so forth.
Okay.
Once you have that, I'll talk to Ashley, and maybe that first Friday in January, you two can stay on a little bit longer, and then she can get you kind of enrolled. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
if you don't have the app, I'll resend it just in case.
And then I'll set
Okay.
up a way to invoice you so you can pay online.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, set it up for January. There's obviously no point setting it up that you're starting in December.
Yeah, you can save $3 that way, or $3.50.
So,
Okay.
Hey, $3.
Pauline, I have a question. The
Okay.
application that you sent to Jason, is that the PDF that we can print and then we can fill in, right?
Mhm.
Need to mail that, or do we just copy and take picture and send it to?
You can even fill it out like it's a PDF that's fillable, so you can fill it out right in Adobe, or you can resave it and email it back to me. Do you need a copy? Do you need one? Because I can send one to you.
Okay, yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
And then the paying the fee, that's gonna be later part, right? How do you? pay
Yeah.
the-
I think you're paid up, Jess.
No,
Didn't
it's
we
not
do-
for me, it's for my daughter.
Oh, okay.
We'd love to have your daughter visit anytime, but she has
Yeah.
to be 18 to join.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Darn. Okay. Well, we tried.
That's a little
Okay.
flaw in our system.
Yeah, darn. Okay. Well, guys, it's 1:00 and I'll let you go. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Merry
Year.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for the singing, Tom. Thank you, Jason, for the table topics.
Yes, Jason, nice
Thank you.
job.
Thank you all.
Very good.
Bye, Robert.
Bye.
See you next year.
Now I could say I went caroling.
Yeah, that's right. Take care, Jason. Take care, Robert.